Jesse, it looked like you guys have full attendance out there today. What does that say about this year's group?
Yeah, it's just a lot of new guys that I think are very excited to reset the standard, kind of. We went out to dinner last night, and it was just funny. Even the waitresses at Ruth Chris are like, "Who are all these new guys?" So just getting us around each other, and being able to just match a name with a face in person is very helpful, I think, and I think that's why a lot of people came.
You said set the standard. What is the standard or the new standard you're trying to set?
Um, that's what you'll build. We exactly don't know exactly what that'll be, um, but as you get to know people, I think roles will be placed in just naturally. I think that's best, and not really forced. So yeah, that's we're not sure what the standard is. It has to be very different though. That's what we know for sure.
Jesse, obviously everything last year was virtual in the offseason. What does it mean to have a handful of days on grass? I mean, some people think it's just a chance to check attendance and make sure who shows, but how valuable is it just from a football perspective, you think?
Yeah, I think for me, it's more of a schedule thing. When I'm back at home, I was just at home in Indiana, and I would go work out at 7 in the morning, and then I'll babysit my nephew for a couple hours. And, it's just a mindset thing. I think when you're in the building, it's football. You go home and you look at the playbook instead of babysitting my nephew, just stuff like that, I think is what is valuable right now during this time. I don't think it's going to be very physical at all. I think it's more of a mental thing and, just getting the fundamentals down.
How old's your nephew?
He just graduated kindergarten today. So shout out to my nephew.
Well, congratulations to you and the family there. We're just leaving practice right now. Obviously we saw Joe out there. What was it like to kind of have him there? And when you were at dinner and y'all were going through the process, what were his feelings like on wanting to come back and be a part of today's OTA?
I'm sorry, Joey B got left out of the dinner last night. It was all DBs. So we haven't really got to discuss with Joey B, but I'm sure he's very excited. He's the leader of this team. He's the voice of this team. So just having him out there, his presence out there is, it's just always great.
How nice was it just to see him back out there moving around again and playing?
I think I got a little excited of him just doing high knees, just seeing him being able to move. I think we all see the reports of he's going to play week 1. But it's kind of exciting to see it with your own eyes and kind of have an inside scoop on it rather than everybody else guessing.
You may have already talked about this, Jesse. Sorry, just jumped on. Were you encouraged by the attendance of your teammates today?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing of a winning football team is the communication part. And I feel like we had 100% of the guys on the Zoom when we were having conversations, with the negotiations. So there's no surprise on that start right there. I think a lot of people are excited to make that first impression, not only on the coaches, but on, their teammates as well. So, yeah.
Jesse, are you the PA rep now?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you guys.
Sorry, Jesse. Are you the PA rep now?
Yeah. By default, Gino passed it down to me.
So what is that, what did that mean to you? Is that a big deal to you? And how hard was it to get kind of thrown into this situation with maybe one of the most complicated moments for a PA rep that you'll see?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a very, Gino just texted me like, hey, you need to get on all the calls from now on and all that stuff. So I feel like Gino prepared me for it. I remember he voted me as a rookie for it. So I was able to ask him questions like, hey, what do I ask? Like, what kind of questions do I ask in here? Do I be quiet and just let the older guys kind of speak? So, just filling it out. It doesn't really mean anything for me, honestly. It's nice to put on my resume someday after football of having a, leadership kind of role at the locker room. But it's not just me making decisions. I communicate with the team. I communicate with all the guys in the locker room. So there's no just Jessie making any decisions. So I feel like our whole team is our NFL rep, not just me.
Hey, Jesse, you were talking about, new guys. You were out there with the DBs, never more so than a cornerback. What was it like lining up with basically three new guys that you've never, taken a snap with? And
yeah,
but being on the field with them today, what was that like?
Yeah, it's funny because you just observe people. Like we were going through backpedaling drills, and I just love the way everybody looks fresh right now, obviously, but the way people are just excited to come and work, not really complaining is the most exciting part, I think. And like I said, it's just in this league you have to prove yourself. And I feel like every guy in the group that we got doesn't really have an ego or anything, where they feel like they have already proven themselves. So I'm very excited for those guys, and not just those guys, for the guys up front as well. We all got in the huddle for walkthroughs, and we're like looking around, like dapping everybody up, like, oh, this might be fun. So it'll be fun once we get going.
What was it like finally seeing Wayne's out there?
Yeah, I always joke with Trey because he's very laid back, just like me. But I'm trying to make him talk a little bit more, laugh, loosen him up. I think that's why it's important to do dinners and stuff like that, to where when we go out on the field, we can joke around and also be about business. So
2 more minutes.
Zooms and all that are fine, Jesse, but like you're saying, looking at a teammate in the eye, shaking his hand, going to dinner, all that kind of stuff. That's where the bonds are made. That's where teams form, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the guys that are new, they value that. So they're all for it, when reaching out to guys and trying to connect everybody. So it's fun when you got new people in here. It's just fun. It's like the first day of school. Honestly, everybody wants to impress somebody, but we can't do much now. So it's just more of a mental thing right now than physical.